Legendary YouTuber and fellow brother in Christ, CoryxKenshin has come back from another hiatus, dropping an insane manga teaser for Monsters We Make, a horror action manga series that he wants to make into an anime. Funny enough, MeatCanyon, the man who controls fire himself, also dropped a video a couple days later announcing that he made a horror manga as well. Both projects are a lot different, and I want to dive in and see what's all the hype about. Now, this is a very different video than I usually post, just a small discussion video, but I want to know what your guys' thoughts on both of these upcoming series are. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Let me know in the comments below. Also, this is the last call for the voting poll, so go down in the description to vote on what kind of horror media you want me to cover. The winner will be announced on New Year's Day, so go ahead and get to voting. Well, honestly, the first thing I thought of when I heard that these two YouTubers are dropping manga volumes is that it was going to be low quality. Sadly, when most people think of YouTuber merch, it is mostly just cash grabs, low quality stuff just made for extra revenue. However, we don't see that much nowadays. YouTubers now actually want to make merch that they would actually buy or wear themselves. We see a lot of it like U2s now and people making high quality merch with really good designs. Plus, we're actually talking about Cory and MeatCanyon, two really big and hardworking YouTubers who actually care about their fans. So firstly, I want to talk about the latest manga project announced, Melvin's Macabre. The manga is a compilation of the first 4 videos just translated into a manga format. MeatCanyon has always loved Japanese horror manga with multiple videos on both of his channels talking about stuff like Junji Ito and other horror anime series. So him making a horror manga wasn't really that much of a surprise, or at least I expected him to make one later on in the future. However, what was a really big shocker for me was the $50 price tag, which for a book of this size was a bit pricey. In comparison, a $50 manga is like a deluxe hardcover of like Berserk or Vinland Saga, with almost double the amount of pages and even double the size. And even then, if you have like a membership at Barnes & Nobles or if you just go through Amazon, you could probably find them for a lot cheaper. Now, he does talk about it in the video. The reason why the price was so high is because he basically just had to beg for it to be made. Plus, it's on a pre-order list, so who knows how many volumes he actually has to make, and you know, making a manga is definitely not cheap. So for most people, they'll have to think twice about getting it. However, the book just looks phenomenal. The cover looks beautiful, the panels and art designs are obviously amazing. I mean, it's coming from MeatCanyon himself. I've heard a lot of people say that it's not worth buying because you could always just watch the stories for free on YouTube, but that argument isn't really good at all. I mean, you could say the same thing with anime. The manga panels are so detailed and it adds like an extra sense of creepiness, as we could see from his video. We also know that his art is insane and heavily inspired by some of the greatest horror mangakas of all time. But yes, you could always just watch the series, but the vibe is just so much better. Plus, it's actually like in your hand, physically, and for me, that just beats watching any Melvin video on my phone while I'm just on the toilet. I'd rather be reading the book on the toilet instead of just watching on my phone. For 50 bucks, I'd say that this is actually pretty worth it, especially as someone who hasn't really watched all of the videos. But if you guys want to pre-order it, the link to his store is in the description, but it'll take him 8 to 10 weeks after January 1st to actually ship out. And now the biggest project, the one that's taking up all of the news sources on anime sites, CoryxKenshin's new action horror manga, Monsters We Make. Now, to be honest, I don't really watch Cory like that. I know who he is, I respect him as a fellow content creator, but I don't really watch his content like that. That being said, I immediately copped this series as soon as I saw that it was up on his page. Cory had been on a year break with no sightings of him, except for that one time at the zoo, but anyways. Cory came back announcing that he's been working on this project with a whole team of writers and designers. The series reminds me a lot of Kaiju number 8, reminds me of Gantz, Cyberpunk, Edge Runner, and just a lot of that shonen vibe. And that's just from the teaser trailer that he had with Line Studio, the same studio that helped make Lil Nas X's Star Walking music video and just a bunch of other projects out there. The premise is actually really interesting though. I wouldn't have guessed it by just the trailer, but it's about Jabari getting accepted into New Eden Academy to pursue a musical mastery and some financial freedom. However, he finds out that the academy is just a way to enlist students into fighting a war with some deadly monsters called the Leakers. The series comes out on March 31st with a $15 price tag, which is pretty much how much we're paying normally for manga nowadays. except this volume has 264 pages, which is a lot more than the usual manga nowadays. So if you want to get it, the link will be in the description. But I absolutely love the passion and desire that Cory has on making this series the best that it could be. We see a lot of the behind the scenes in the making of this series, some of the Zoom meetings about like the stories, the paneling, the printing, everything. So much time and effort has been put into this 200-page volume with the emphasis on making an amazing story. They already have a beginning and an ending. We don't know much about the in-between parts, but we know that he's making this story to have an amazing ending. The premise sounds a lot like a mashup of a bunch of shonen series that we see all the time, but then adds in hints of like horror elements with like the monsters, and I'm all for it. The panels that we do see look really impressive. The character designs look amazing, the settings look amazing, the world building itself looks like it's going to be really fun to pick out and look at little details here and there. And now the monster designs. A lot of the monster designs that I saw looked alright, but honestly I'm excited to see more of those monster designs. Maybe have them evolve, maybe them get more detailed as more volumes come out, or when the actual volume does come out. I will say though, my expectations are going to be low. I'm not expecting some like masterpiece storytelling like some Attack on Titan, but it does seem like a really fun series and I'm really excited to give it a shot. Overall though, I am planning on covering both of these series on my channel when I eventually do get them. At first I was skeptical, but the more I look into it and the more I hear how passionate both of these creators are about these projects, the more I just want to support them and hopefully have them make more stuff like this. I always support high quality non-scammy merch that comes from the heart, especially if it involves stuff like anime or a manga. Now if it sucks, which I hope not, I won't hold back on like my opinions, but I'll always appreciate the effort and dedication that not just the creators but also the team put behind it. Maybe this will actually start a trend of other big YouTubers to make their own horror manga in the future. Maybe there'll even be a horror manga about capybaras in the future. But thank you guys for watching this video. It's a short one, but with all of the buzz around these projects, I just had to put in my 2 cents. Next week, we will be going over the next volume of Psycho-Pass, so stay tuned for that. And remember to join the Discord server and to vote in our poll. Both links will be in the description. If you want more horror manga videos like this one, then why not scroll down and hit that subscribe button. But I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.